His clothes were not very good, and neither did he have expensive toys or gadgets to show off. Gradually, many kids changed their opinion about Thomas. They called him miser, cheapskate, Scrooge, and what not. Most of them did so as they feared Robert's reaction if they befriended Thomas. As time passed by, Thomas too started losing confidence. He had very few friends now. One day, Austin approached him and invited him to his birthday party. Thomas was surprised. "But why me?" he asked. "Just come," Austin said with a smile and left. At the party, everyone was surprised to see Thomas. He showed up with an expensive remote-controlled car for Austin. "You didn't really have to bring this," said Austin when he saw the car. "I like you for who you are and not for your clothes or toys or house or car." Then he turned to his group of friends and said, "I like Thomas and am not ashamed to call him my friend. It is not right to judge people from their looks or belongings." Everybody wanted to be Thomas' friend till the time no one knew that he wasn't very rich. It's just not fair to ignore him just because Robert or someone else doesn't like him. Everyone in the room was surprised to see Austin speak like this. Friends, all I want to say is that before judging people, just remind yourself that not everyone has had the same set of luck and opportunities that you had. It was then that Thomas revealed that he too belonged to a financially good family. However, his father decided to adopt 2 orphan babies whom he found one night on the road. Someone had left them there to die. On hearing this, everyone held him to a high position. Even Robert hugged him. From then on, there was no elite group of friends. Everyone was equal and non-judgmental. Mandy was a conceited little girl. She had every reason to be, as she was the star of a popular TV show. Mandy had very few friends at school. She always remained big-headed and boasted about being on the television. The other kids in the class listened to her stories and fancied her luxurious and fame-filled life. It was the same with Mandy's cousins. They too couldn't speak much before her, as she often bragged about her fans and accomplishments at such a young age. To make matters worse, her parents too were submissive before her, as they feared that they might offend her in some way or the other. Mandy believed and openly said that her life was beautiful because of the fame and money she had. For others, she said, "They live such normal lives, so boring and not at all beautiful." One day, Mandy's cousin Emma introduced her to her new friend Jacob. He was charming, handsome, and full of humor. Jacob and Emma really enjoyed being with each other. At first, Mandy tried to show off as was her habit, but soon she realized that Jacob wasn't interested in her stories at all. For Mandy, Jacob became a target that she wanted to achieve at all costs. One day, Emma invited Mandy to a picnic. Mandy instantly agreed when she heard that Jacob was going to be there. However, suddenly her manager reminded her that she had to shoot on the day of the picnic. Reluctantly, Mandy had to drop the idea of the picnic. After a few days, Emma invited her for a movie with Jacob. Again, Mandy had to refuse as she had to go for an interview. For a third time, Emma invited her to a party. Once again, Mandy had to let it pass as she had to shoot an extra episode for her show. However, luck favored Mandy after a long time, and she happened to catch up with Emma and Jacob at an outing. There, she observed that Jacob was getting along with Emma very well. This infuriated Mandy. The moment she got a chance, she took Jacob by hand and tried to have a friendly chat with him alone. At first, she bragged about her career. But when that didn't seem to work, she started criticizing Emma and her ordinary life. She went on and on until Jacob stopped her. "You seem to have a weird conception about life, dear girl," said Jacob with an attitude. "Let me tell you something. I believe it's not our life, but it's your life that sucks." No one had said such a thing to Mandy before. She left the place with tears in her eyes and rushed back home. When Grandma saw Mandy so depressed and hurt, she asked her the matter. On hearing what Jacob had said, Grandma replied, "Well, my child, he couldn't be more right." Mandy was surprised to hear that from her grandma. Grandma smiled and asked her a question. "When was the last time that you felt truly free, happy, and beautiful? Can you confidently say that you and your life will be beautiful even without the show that you do on the television?" Mandy was confused. She didn't know what to say. Then Grandma said, "My child, beauty is all around us. It is in the life that God has given us. We just have to see it. It is beautiful when a mother scolds her child for doing something bad and then hugs the same child to kiss him. Both the anger and affection of elders are beautiful. It is beautiful when you can spend time with your loved ones and sing and dance and play as much as you want. No money can match that." Mandy listened to her grandma attentively while she continued. "It is beautiful to enjoy a healthy life and At the same time, it is beautiful to enjoy a relaxed old age when you have friends and family around that love you. Look around and see how beautifully God has created each and every aspect of nature. Can you do that? Mandy was speechless. She realized that till now she had been holding on to a very different concept of beauty. She had been running after superficial beauty that didn't really exist. That experience changed Mandy for the rest of her life. She continued to appear on the television as a star. However, for her friends and family, she became a normal kid. No one could call her conceited anymore. She decided to prioritize things in her life and gave the upper hand to her personal life that truly showed how beautiful life was. She started hanging out with friends and her parents too became parents in true sense of the word. Gradually, she realized that it was her family and friends that made her life beautiful. Hi, I am Michael. I live with my parents, grandparents, and brother. I don't understand the point of having such a big family. Living in a big family is a headache. I am never alone. There is always someone or the other to bother me. Once it so happened that my family planned a picnic with my cousins and uncles and aunts. I thought it would be a nice chance to spend some time with my friends. So I told them that I would stay back to complete my homework. My folks were about to cancel the plan, but somehow I managed to make them go. Finally, after a long time, I was alone at home. I started calling my friends to see who was free for an outing. After around 10 phone calls, I came upon John, who was free for the day. The rest of them were out with their families. So, we decided to go to a nearby lake. We picked our bicycles and set off. As luck would have it, I met with an accident on the way. One moment, I was in terrible pain, and the next, I fainted. When I opened eyes, I was in a hospital with a fractured leg and some bandages here and there. John hadn't hurt himself, so he called my parents and told them about the accident. Soon, I was at home in my bed. I knew everyone was angry that I had lied to them. Mom did ask me about the homework, but Dad told her to keep quiet for some time. From that day on, I saw a different kind of family. Mom cooked for me whatever I wanted and made sure that I ate my medicines on time. Dad brought me magazines, books, and video games to keep me busy. Whenever it pained somewhere, Grandma would gently massage me, while Grandpa would tell me heroic stories of his younger spirits to cheer me up. Whenever he was free, my little brother would play a board game with me. That little chap would do anything I asked him to do. At weekend, my uncles and aunts brought me gifts and flowers. My cousin Ryan, who was in the same class as I was, brought me homework from school to keep me updated. My other cousins told me jokes and stories to keep me in good humor. 2 months passed like this, and I didn't feel bored or like a handicap even for a single day. It was then that I realized the importance of family. None of my friends were there to support me. I can't imagine what would have happened to me if I was all alone. I apologized to Mom about lying to her the other day. She kissed me and said, "It's okay. I know you have learnt your lesson." I thank God for giving me such a loving family. I love my family so much that I can't live without it. Daniel was a nervous boy. He was scared of problematic situations. However, life is full of them. Whenever a problem arose in Daniel's life, he would simply start crying. Seeing him in tears, his mother would help him out. However, this made him more dependent and less courageous. His father didn't like this at all, but there was hardly anything he could do. One day, he saw Daniel crying. He went to him and asked the matter. Daniel told him that he had borrowed his friend James' bicycle, but someone stole it while he was in the park. "Only Mom can help me out of this," said Daniel with tears in his eyes. "I'm sure she can," comforted his father. "But you can also solve the problem on your own." "How?" asked Daniel. "Okay," said father. "Now stop crying and listen to me carefully. To solve any problem, first identify it and list the options for fixing it. You lost your friend's bike. What do you think you can do to fix it?" Daniel thought for a while and then laid down his options. "I can stay away from my friend, or I can lie to him that one of my friends lost it, or I can give him my remote controlled plane. He really likes it." "Okay," said father. "It is good you have some options to fix the problem. Now, you need to rate the options. Write all your options on paper and rate them according to their being ethical, rightful, and honest." Daniel did as his father told him. He rated the 3 options he had and was left with just the last option. avoiding his friend or lying to him would be disastrous and would hurt his feelings a lot. So, the only option that was left with him was to offer his friend the remote-controlled plane that he liked a lot. Daniel told the option he picked to his father. It was the hardest one, but was the only suitable option that seemed fit. Seeing this, father comforted him. Son, it is always hard to do the right thing, but in the end, it pays. The next day, Daniel went to his friend and told him all about the bike. He apologized to him and offered him his remote control plane instead of the bike. However, his friend was stubborn. He wanted his bike back, no matter what. This meant there was a bigger problem for Daniel. He went to his father and the two started thinking again. This time, Daniel came up with a unique solution. He offered to buy his friend the same kind of bike. The only thing he asked from him for was time. He promised to buy him the bike after saving his pocket money. His friend agreed to the solution. Encouraged by this, Daniel started saving money. He even did small jobs for his neighbors, like walking the dog every morning, fetching milk from the market daily, etc., to earn money in a short period of time. Soon, he had enough money. Daniel bought the bike and thanked his father for helping him solve the problem on his own. His father smiled and said, "The lesson is not over, son. After fixing the problem, you need to analyze what led to the problem in the first place." "My forgetfulness," replied Daniel shyly. "It's good that you know it. So, from now on, I am sure you will take corrective steps to ensure